Residents' protests and torch police vehicles. Kenyan activists, including former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, detained in Dar es Salaam. Tanzanian government warns Kenyan activists of interference. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Former Deputy President GACHAGUA has said that President William Ruto will be the one to blame if anything happens to him or if he is harmed in any way. Addressing a press conference in Karen, Nairobi, GACHAGUA on Monday alleged that security officers from several state intelligence agencies were trailing him on Sunday while he attended a church service in Gatanga, Murang'a County. He claimed the officers intended to throw poison-laced tear gas at him. He also accused President Ruto of ordering his personal bodyguards be stripped of their firearms, even though they have licenses to own them.
I received intelligence reports that President William Ruto had ordered that I be dealt with once and for all. And since the goons sponsored by the state on several occasions had failed, police and other state security agencies had to come in. At about 11 a.m., same Sunday, 18th May 2025, this information was communicated to the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of the National Intelligence Service, and the Director of Criminal Investigations by the CS Interior Kipchumba Murkomen, and consequently, a killer squad composed of 101 lethal and dreaded officers from the administration police and seconded to the National Intelligence Service, accompanied by officers from the DCI, the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit, the General Service Unit, and the regular police were deployed. This killer squad have been carrying out extrajudicial killings and abductions. Yesterday, they were mobilized and cordoned off and blocked all exits from Gatanga constituency. This squad was armed to the teeth and hooded and with masks to conceal their identity because of the heinous acts they wanted to commit on us. This is despite that there are existing guidelines from the High Court that officers should be in uniform and not conceal their identity. At about 2:30 p.m., we received further intelligence from the deployed patriotic officers who are not in agreement with the information that they had clear instructions to plant arms and weapons in our convoy to provide evidence to arrest us and get evidence that they could charge us with in court. After about 30 minutes, the killer squad was joined by their counterparts who are highly trained in the use of biological weapons. Their instructions were to poison me through inhaled chemicals that would paralyze my brain within 3 months. This was the intent and the purpose of the whole operation. My team and I sought alternative routes as guided by the deployed security personnel, majority of whom are our supporters and opposed to what is going on. We have credible information that President Ruto has directed that my private security personnel be disarmed and be targeted for withdrawal of their licenses so that they can leave me vulnerable to allow room for goons to attack and possibly eliminate me.
At the same time, the former DP has launched a scathing attack on Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, accusing him of insincerity over recent remarks vowing to crack down on political violence in Kenya. Speaking at a press conference amid speculation of his impending arrest, GACHAGUA claimed he has been the target of orchestrated violence since November 2024, allegedly with state complicity. He said despite suffering attacks of great magnitude alongside his family and supporters, the government has failed to take any action against perpetrators.
I've heard the CS Interior and other pretenders to the throne claim that they will not allow political violence. I urge them to walk the talk. Since November 2024, political violence of great magnitude has been meted on me, my family, and my supporters. not a single case has been prosecuted. For instance, on 28th November 2024, at a solemn funeral service in Limuru, Kiambu County, I was attacked by organized criminal gangs under police escort. On 28th December 2024, in Shamata, Nyandarua, an inspector of police flanked by criminal gangs threw tear gas canisters at me. On 23rd March 2025, at ACK St. Peter's Cathedral in Nyeri, my convoy was attacked at a church compound by a known criminal gang under police escort. On 29th March 2025 in Naivasha town, we were attacked by the police. On 6th April 2025, at a church service in Mwiki, PCA, hooded goons attacked us inside the church. We dismiss with contempt the loose talk by CS Interior that during the DCP party unveiling, where goons dared to cause chaos were fighting for handouts from us. These were state-sponsored, but fortunately, they were overpowered by security personnel and supporters. The CS has given instructions that instead of arresting the said goons, they disarm my security personnel to give goons free access to me and my supporters in future occasions. Let it be known that our party, DCP, has organic support, and we do not pay supporters to attend our meetings the way the government is doing to people to attend their meetings. Finally, let me assure the planners of this violence that you will not stop the cause of the people of Kenya. The one-term movement and the DCP party popularity will not be stopped and will not be slowed down.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has arrested Trans Nzoia County Governor George Natembeya over the alleged embezzlement of county funds. According to Natembeya's lawyer, Ndegwa Njiru, the governor was presented at the EACC headquarters in Nairobi on Monday morning for a statement recording. He, however, notes that his legal team has been denied access and the governor will remain under detention until further notice. The commission says it is investigating allegations of procurement irregularities, abuse of office and bribery. EACC says the arrest is linked to fraudulent acquisition of 1.4 billion shillings. The alleged irregularities are believed to have occurred in 2022-2023 to 2024-2025 financial years.
Like a duck, swims like a duck, then it is a duck. This one is political persecution. It is not fight against corruption. And when this regime took over and they pretended to be having a bottom-up approach, kumbe it was a bottom-up fighting young people, very small fish, small people. Natembeya, he cannot harm anybody. He cannot harm a fly. The matters of corruption, it starts with the highest office on the land. It cannot go that you fight corruption in piecemeal that will pick up people depending on which side of political divide they are.
Proper charges have been brought before the lawyers have been told why our client has been brought here. You find EACC circulating on social media accusations, trying to create the perception that governor is corrupt, trying to create the perception that there's been looting in Trans Nzoia. That is totally unprofessional and it's prejudicial to the case of Governor Natembeya.
There was drama after the EACC and the DCI detectives raided Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya's Milimani home in Kitale on Monday. Following this, residents protested as they vandalized and deflated EACC vehicles over what they termed as harassment of the governor. A crowd gathered outside the compound, prompting police to disperse them. The raid came a day after several opposition leaders said they were aware of plans to arrest Natembeya, who has been a top critic of the government, which many see as the motive behind the raid.
Gavana wetu George Natembeya ako sawa. Yeye ako Nairobi na mimi nikitoka hapa tuko tunaenda kuwa na yeye kule Nairobi.
Asante.
Wametuma askari hapa kwake. Wamefanya raid asubuhi ya leo Lakini leo tumekuwa hapa na mawakili na viongozi MCAs wote, na ile search imeonyesha ya kwamba hakuna chochote kimepatikana kwa gavana. Walikuwa wanatafuta pesa, hakuna pesa imepatikana hapa. Walisema eti gavana sijui ameiba pesa iko chini ya kitanda, hakuna pesa chini ya kitanda. Na leo tunasema hii kwa bwana Zakayo, bwana Kasongo, ya kwamba wewe upende usipende, wewe ni one term. You use the police or not, hata utumie jeshi, wewe ni one term. Tunakupeleka.
Hakuna siku ambayo utatisha Waluya, hakuna siku ambayo utatisha Natembea.
Tutaamua kama ni kukufa kupona, lazima tu protect governor. Na Alan Chesang utajua mahali penye utakuwa una land. Ukianza hii mchezo yenye unaanza na kudili na sisi, ukiguza Natembea umeguza Muluya, ukiguza Natembea umeguza mtu wa Trans Nzoia. Sasa maneno yako chuma chako chimotoni.
Sisi tulidanganywa na Wetangula tukakupigia kura kama jamii ya Waluya. Raundi hii ikiwepo unakuja na hii tabia ya kutuma hao watu waje wanyanyase Natembea, my friend, sahau kura ya jamii ya Waluya.
Hakuna mahali gavana anaenda. Tunasema hakuna mahali gavana wetu wanaenda. Tumeamua, tumejua wameingia kuna pesa, wanataka kusema gavana alipiga pesa. Hakuna pesa gavana amepiga. Kama ni mbaya acha ikuwe mbaya.
Yule ataguza mheshimiwa gavana Natembea, sisi tunaenda kupambana na wewe. Kama ni mheshimiwa Rais Kasongo, Trans Nzoia sisi tumekuwa watu wa upinzani na hatuogopi kabisa.
Sababu kitu ambaye wewe ulikuwa unasema ya kwamba Natembea anafanya uchochezi, anafanya mambo ya ukabila. Sio ukabila. Kama Natembea akisema kwamba Waluya wapige kura pamoja, hiyo sio ukabila.
Tension flared outside the Tanzanian consulate in Mombasa on Monday as human rights activists staged a protest demanding the immediate and unconditional release of 3 detained Kenyan nationals, including former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga. The trio, Mutunga, Hussein Khalid and Hanifa Adan, are reportedly being held at the Julius Nyerere International Airport in Dar es Salaam. The arrest comes just a day after prominent Kenyan lawyer and opposition leader Martha Karua, along with 2 associates, were deported from Tanzania under controversial circumstances. The detained Kenyans were part of a civil society mission to observe judicial proceedings involving Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu, raising concerns about regional cooperation and the state of democracy in Tanzania.
Yeah, tumekuja manake wenzetu tumepata habari wamekuwa detained in Tanzania. Hussein Khalid ambaye yuko kule amedeteniwa, na vile vile Willy Mutunga, Hanifa na Boniface Mwangi jana wamestorm hoteli yake kuharakisha. Martha Karua washarudi, kina Antonani yule Irungu washarudi, na sisi tumekuja hapa kusik audience nao wametufukuza. Tutaka kujua kwa nini Watanzania wanatuzuia kusik audience nao, Wakenya wanazuiwa na regeshwa, na sisi ni watu wa kupenda amani. Tunamwambia Mama Suluhu ambao ni rais wao, hatuogopi lolote. East Africa sisi kama ndugu tunataka tuishi na amani, sio kuharakisha na kuleta harassment na impunity kwa nchi yake. Hiyo ni yake, lakini Wakenya wakienda pale sisi tutaingia, manake tuna believe in the spirit of East African community. Sisi tunasema kuwa Suluhu lazima change, demokrasia lazima ibadilishwe.
Miaka nenda miaka rudi tumekuwa tukiishi kwa amani kama jumuiya ya mashirika ya Afrika, na tukijua fika kwamba sisi kama na Tanzania ni kama sisi vile vile pia Uganda. Lakini kinachoghadhabisha ni kwamba hivi sasa ameingia mtu ambaye kwamba hatambui undugu, umoja wala amani katika hili jumuiya. Na Mama Suluhu, tunataka kuambia kwa umetuaibisha. Pale ulipochukua mamlaka tulikuwa tunajivunia sisi kama wanawake, tukisema sasa nchi ya Tanzania itaendeshwa kwa miondoko ya kisawasawa. Lakini hadi hivi sasa tumeona ndo kumekathiri ukiukaji wa haki za kibinadamu, mauaji ya kiholela, watu kupotezwa kimabavu, na hivi sasa Wakenya kukatazwa kuingia katika nchi jirani.
Nimejipata hapa kwa sababu pengine kuna ile agitation kwamba Watanzania wanataka reforms, haswa za election. Sisi Wakenya tumepitia reforms mingi na hatujaumia mahali popote.
Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasia has been freed on a cash bail of 200,000 shillings in a hate speech case. Appearing at the Milimani Law Court on Monday, Salasia's defense team argued that the legislator was arrested in a barbaric manner and they were also denied access to their client. He also asked for the reinstatement of Salasia's bodyguards to guarantee his security. Outside the courtroom, Echesa censured the use of security forces to tame constructive criticism.
They have already raised issues with the issue of personal bond and invited this court to balance all the interests. Since the bond terms are not opposed, I'm minded to grant the accused person bond as follows. Is admitted to a surety bond of Kenya shillings 500,000 in the alternative cash bail of 200,000. There are two other issues which has been raised. The first one is about violation of accused rights in the course of arrests, as well as another application to have arms assigned to the accused security details returned. I will reserve my ruling on that two aspects, and I will deliver the ruling on the 4th of June.
If there are government officers, there must be a procedure of arresting an officer who is also guarded by other officers, because it can turn to be dangerous. Like maybe you are thinking that these are genuine, maybe they are not police, or it can be turned into something else. So when we assumed it, then they came on that particular day, on Friday, and they decided to shoot our car. And I think that was, it could have turned into something else. It is only by the grace of God that we are alive today.
His relatives and staff were denied access, but this morning, after pressure from all places, including the riots by the constituents of Mumias East, which riots took about 5 hours yesterday, and the headquarters called Shanda came to a standstill, the state decided to produce him before court today on what we will term as very defective and far-fetched charges.
What will the public say? Mind you, this is a sitting member of parliament who was arrested under such circumstance. It's not a sheer coincidence that we are living in a place whereby we are dealing with state capture. It's very, very trivial, and it's very, very important that we have to stay steadfast, because any person can easily experience the same thing. And it may not seem as serious as it may be, but the Honorable Member of Parliament indeed endures a bit of some trauma from that experience.
The Council of Governors want an urgent meeting with President William Ruto in an effort to arrest emerging issues between the two levels of government, simmering and likely to create a point of friction. One of the issues, the absorption of the universal health coverage staff, which the governors now accuse newly appointed Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale of mismanaging. According to the governors who addressed a press conference after a 5-hour full council meeting at their headquarters in Nairobi, the question of transferring the UHC staff to counties is being mishandled and should be treated with the importance it requires. The Council of Governors chairperson and Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi has called out Aden Duale, saying he is keen on fast-tracking the transfer of the UHC staff employed during the COVID era to counties, yet there are no accompanying funds to take care of the full salaries and gratuity.
And what we're actually seeing here is the CS is trying to transfer his problem to us. Because if the UHCs that are at work are not funded in perpetuity, the moment their contract ends, they'll start demanding that counties absorb them. And all we're saying is, where is the money to absorb them? So we will only do that if there is sufficient increase in the equitable share to employ them at the same rate that their colleagues in the counties are being offered. And as for the existing contract, If MOH has continued to have them in their payroll for the last 5 years, we don't see the urgency of transferring them to us. There's also the matter of gratuity. These people will have worked for 6 years. We're not being told who's going to pay for their gratuity, and we don't have the money as counties to pay for that gratuity. And these are the reasons why we have looked at this arrangement and have seen it's not acceptable to us. It's just transferring to us problems which we will not be able to deal with. And in the past, we have accepted certain arrangements in good faith, and Big Brother has not kept his part of the bargain. We don't want this to be one such arrangement. And that's why we're saying, you cause the problem, deal with it until you ensure a seamless end to the contractual arrangement. And if you want us to take up those people, give us the money.
All right, allow us to take a quick breather right here on EBN TV. We'll be back shortly with more news. Stay with us.